Good evening. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, God, I'm yawning away. Um, I just thought of another one, and I've just had to spend like 5 minutes trying to find the name for it because every name I came up with it came up for it was already taken, like red flags and the warning signs. So this one's this one's funny, but it's not funny. But it is funny, but it's not funny. Like I'm not laughing at it, but it is funny. So like single white female sleeping with the enemy, the woman, the woman who ignored all the red flags in the relationship and ended up being stalked by a psychopath. Yeah, I got to do a movie based on my exes and oh, all the red flags I ignored. See, the thing is, it's hard for me with Chris because he's the father of my kids. So I always had to have some level of contact with him. But like, with all the other my relationship track record would not be worthy of a suspense thriller if I hadn't have ignored all the red flags and all the warning signs. Because, you give everyone the benefit of the doubt for the 9 billionth time. So it's going to be. Oh, see, I'm one of these people that I don't believe that it's healthy that you stay in relationships with your exes. I think that once your marriage or your relationship breaks up, you need to move on unless you've got children together. But even then, only communicate when it's for the sake of the children and leave it at that. It's not healthy to stay friends with exes. It's just not healthy. If you're okay with your ex, watching your ex move on, then the love was never real. That's as far as I'm concerned. If you can sit and watch your ex move on, and stay friends with them, then the love that you had between each other was never real. So I don't stay in contact with my exes. I don't keep in touch with my exes. Like uh, keep them at a distance. It's not healthy. So this movie's basically going to be about this woman who breaks up with her ex after she ignores all the red flags. She breaks up with him. He's going to act cool about it, and then he starts stalking her and turning into a psychopath. So it's going to be my suspense thriller, like single white female, kind of sleeping with the enemy. Where it's the young girl, and he's going to act cool with it. And then shit's going to happen. Stuff's going to happen. And I'm going to put in the movie real, real things that have happened to me, real things that my exes have done to me. Like he's going to try and poison her. Hey, I got you this pizza, let's be friends, I got you a pizza. Like ignoring the red flags about being locked inside for the weekend while, while he goes off and has satanic orgies. With men and women, and I mean, I'm not going to put that in, but like locking her inside. How how dumb women is, how too trusting people are when the narc pulls that cute face and says, "Oh, I'm only locking you inside for your own good because you know." Don't answer the door to anyone but the police, sort of thing. Oh, well, yeah, that's fair enough. He's only got my best interests at heart. Meanwhile, he's only feeding you food through the door, like normalizing abuse. The movie's going to be about this woman normalizing abuse and ignoring all the red flags. until she breaks up with him, and then she sees him without his mask. Oh, that's who you really are. And then having to survive him. So there'll be the, in bed at night, going downstairs to get a glass of water and then seeing him at the window with a knife and that sort of thing. Oh, the stuff that's happened to me, and oh, Lord, I've got stories to tell. I'm going to I'm telling you now, when I write this story, everything in it will be based on real events. Not all from the same person, but it will be stuff that's really happened to me at the hands of exes that I had as a teenager, married, whatever, where I ignored all the warning signs. He'd never do that to me. He's the father of my children. He'd never do that to me because I feed him and take care of him and I put him through college, and he'd never do that to me. Meanwhile, the phone calls are getting less and less and less. You know what I mean? He only comes round when he wants money. That sort of thing. Just, yeah. The subtle mental manipulation, the emotional manipulation, the gaslighting, all that, like, it's all going to be in there. I've had some stuff happen. Oh my, I could spend hours telling you about some of the warning signs I've ignored, where the cops ended up having to get called, where, all because I didn't play by the rules, because I put myself first, because I decided that I deserved better. That if I was going to escape this alive, I needed to get out now. Or like in the case of Martin, and that God removed me, and removed me quickly. So it's not funny, because it's going to be like a suspense thriller, like I know Single White Female is about the roommate trying to replace the roommate, but a suspense thriller where it's like where you're being stalked, where the character's been hounded and tormented, and think of The Shining, when Shelley Duvall's in the bedroom and he's hacking at the door and she's screaming and all that sort of thing. It's going to be like that, one of those kind of suspense thrillers, because the ex couldn't handle the fact that she left him. Even though he acted cool with it, secretly it twisted him, because that's what happened with my ex. He acted fine, that he was okay with it, that he agreed that it was the best for the both of us, that he could go on and have his life and I could go on to America and have my life, while it was secretly twisting his mind, where he was plotting and planning my demise behind my back while smiling in my face, sort of thing. So, sleeping with the enemy. I was sleeping under the same roof with the enemy. And he was trying to sleep with me while I was asleep, sort of thing. So I'm going to put that all in the thing where they're married, like she can't take it anymore, so she ends the marriage, he acts okay with it, and then it all starts. He killed my cat, so in the movie, the cat will be killed. All of it. And it's going to be called, what did I call it? Without a mask. Without a mask. Seen him without his mask on. I went through so many names, I had to research so many names. Without a mask. Seen him without his mask on. I don't know if you've ever been in a domestic abuse situation, in a domestic abuse relationship, where your central nervous system is shot. That's why my memory was so bad, for the cortisol spikes. Because when your brain is constantly in fear, your cortisol levels run so high that it shrinks your hippocampus in your brain, and it messes with your memory. It damages your brain, and it affects your memory. I'm way better now that I'm at peace and I'm not living in fear, and my cortisol levels have dropped and all that sort of thing, and I'm taking my mushroom vitamins and I'm having like protein and all of that. Like, my memory's a lot better. In fact, I'm remembering things that I forgot for years. It's just short-term memory, just like I'll just briefly forget the name of something and that, but it's I'm going to put that all in the movie, where I used to be jumpy all the time. And even when I was locked up, it was one of the nurses that actually said, that's because of my PTSD, because I was always quick to react to loud noises. I'd jump, always jumpy. Someone had come behind, oh God, and I'd jump, constantly jumpy. And when I was using my phone one day while I was being watched by one of the nurses, a door shut behind me and I jumped about 10 feet. And I was like, oh my God, sorry. She said, that's because of your PTSD from the abuse. She said, that's one of the signs that we know you've been abused, because she said, you're very jumpy. She said, you'll be fine, and then there'll be like a loud noise or something and you'll jump. She said, that's a classic sign of domestic abuse. It's a sign of the PTSD. I'm not like that anymore. I hear noises and stuff outside and I'm like, what's that? And I go quiet, but I'm not like, I don't freeze in fear anymore, because I know it's not him. Because his temper would change. His mood could change on a dime. He'd be talking perfectly normal 1 minute, and then the next minute he'd be screaming and like throwing things and smashing things and punching things, and and constantly having to live in that fear. I'm going to put all of it in the movie. It's all going to be based on personal experiences, but with an amalgamation of various exes. So it's not funny, but it is funny, because it's like only I could have so many disastrous relationships, because I ignored the red flags over and 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 over again with every single one of them, until now. Now I'm like, the second I see a red flag go up, I'm like, done, out. Like if any man approaches me with the intention of, hey, baby, masha amor, sort of thing, the second I see a red flag, boom, out. Gone. So I learned my lesson. So yeah, I don't know if I'll call it without a mask or without his mask. But everything in it is going to be based on real events. Because I ignored, sometimes you're too nice for your own good, eh? It's just, it's because I think it's because you just refuse to believe that they could really be like that. So this movie, that's what it's going to be about. So that's another one to tick off the list. You wouldn't think. I think what's so funny is that from a supernatural level, I'm literally the most powerful person in the world. I have manifested the whole taking down of like Donald Trump, Keir Starmer, Elon Musk, all of it. I have sat for the longest time using my physics to manifest their downfall. And Donald Trump is being set on fire. And it's brilliant because it's everything I said that was going to happen. And yet I still give these morons the benefit of the doubt when they try to gaslight me into thinking that their abuse is love because I was too nice. But not anymore. Not anymore. I'm happily single and I'm happy to stay single until the right one comes along and he comes along correct. You know, it's only, I never realised how many damaged men there were out there until I became single and they started approaching me. It's like, no, leave that shit at the door. No thanks. No, no. There's got to be some healed men out there that aren't going to come at me with their baggage. I'm not taking on anyone else's baggage ever again. So it's like, yeah, no. If you're not healed, I just no, stay away. Just keep that away. Oh, so yeah, so that's my other movie. I keep thinking of I'll be fine. I think, well, I can't have come up like I must have come up with all the different kinds of versions now, genres, and then I think of another one. The the only one I keep thinking in the back of my head is like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen kind of sci-fi steampunky, just because I love steampunk stuff. And even though my werewolf movie is kind of going to be a bit ish, I'd love to do some sort of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen or Hellboy. Hellboy's one of my favourite movies in the whole world, and it was actually Hellboy that gave Thomas and I the idea for Meltdown for the Quantum Menace. How Thomas wanted his character Meltdown to be was loosely based on the inspiration for that. I can't remember his name. See, short-term memory loss. You know, the brainy fish man. God. And Hellboy. So yeah. So that's the next one possibly because I love Hellboy so much. So yeah, some sort of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen-y, ishy, steampunky, Hellboy fusion sort of thing. That was another one that I had a pin in. So, is there anything else? Because what we're going to do after I do my Harry Potter version, you know, the Amber Rose animation and Miss Amber's School of Alchemy, we'll just put everything in a hat and pull the names of movies in there out of a hat, and then whatever one we pull out, that's the one we'll make next. But I want to make sure that I have enough to put in the hat. Like we'll do one horror and then like one animation or one horror and one movie. And we'll just pull the names out and whatever one we pull out is the one we'll do. So it'll keep us busy for a few years and hopefully, yeah, if I can't build skills in other countries, it'll keep the school that I have in either Switzerland or America busy for a few years. So, yeah, without the mask. Should it be without the mask or without his mask? Without the mask. Without his mask. What feels without his mask? Without the mask. Without the mask. I saw him without his mask. No, without the mask. Without the mask or without his mask? Without the mask. I'll leave it for without the mask for now. Because obviously domestic abuse isn't just a man on woman thing. There are plenty of men that are victims of domestic abuse. That's why I'm just keep it without the mask. Because without his mask, it neglects male victims of domestic abuse. Without the mask. Yeah, okay, so without the mask. And I think we can pretty much film all of that at the foundation, on the grounds of the foundation. We'll have it so that the character works for QE2 Games or the production company or something. Her job will be at the production company, or, and when she goes to have a coffee with her friend to discuss it, it will be at Mama Bear's Kitchen Cafe and Bakery. And when she's walking home from having a pint with her pal, it's the Alchemist Tavern and all that. So I'm pretty sure that we'd be able to film all of this on location, other than if I write in a scene where maybe she's going for a hike or something. So, yeah, but I'm pretty sure we can film most of this at the actual foundation. So, there we go. So, that's another one. Tick. It's not funny. I'm not laughing at domestic abuse. I'm laughing at how crap I am at relationship, at how crap I am at picking the wrong men. I picked the wrong men because it's that whole narcissist empath thing. They feed off your light, and I let them, and yet none of them realise how powerful I am. That's what's so funny about it. I could crush these people just by pointing my fingers. I could destroy their entire life just by pointing my finger and using physics the right kind of way. Um, and here I am. Oh, Debbie. Except my excuse is I didn't know how powerful I was back then. I knew I was powerful, but I didn't know I was this powerful. But now I know I'm this powerful. Now I just need to find a man who thinks that me being this powerful is a turn on and not something intimidating and scary. Because the way I see it, I'm lovable. I'm just like adorable and lovable. And you're going to have the best life with me. You're going to have a life full of laughter and adventure and fun and whimsy and frivolity and excitement and, did I say adventure? Travel, travel around the world, and just life's going to be one big party, but we have to be parents to a lot of children that aren't ours. So we'll be serious in that, but you won't ever need to be afraid of me as long as you come correct. Just don't lie, don't cheat, don't be unfaithful, don't try and rip me off, scam me off, steal my identity, steal my money, steal my whatever. And then you won't ever know my wrath. Then you won't ever know how powerful I am. It's kind of like if if I was a man interested in me, I wouldn't be afraid of me because I know that I would not be giving me any reason to treat me to respond that way. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I was a man and I was looking at me thinking, I wouldn't mind to ask her out, like, that's the woman I'm going to marry. It wouldn't even be a question in my head as to, is she going to bite my head off? Like, is she going to do to me what she's done to Donald Trump and Martin and Chris and all that? Because I would have no intentions of ever doing to me what they did. So the only reason why they're in hell is because they sold their souls to the devil in order to betray me. And you don't betray God's daughter. You just don't. So it's like as long as you never have any intention of betraying me, cheating on me, lying, stealing, identity theft, all that sort of thing, then it wouldn't even be a thought in my head that I would ever be afraid of me or intimidated by me because, do you know what I mean? No hiding behind fake accounts, no hiding behind fake names, no fake numbers, no AI faces, no AI videos, no AI voices, just you as you are. Come as you are. Come as you are. as you are, as I know you to be. Just come correct. But if you've got baggage, just no. Just if you're not healed and you got baggage from exes and you got baby mama dramas, and I'm not interested. No, thank you. No. Otherwise, send me a message. Otherwise, don't be afraid of me. And why I'm saying it's funny, but it's not funny because it's like I have the worst track record with men because they all end up being like psychopathic, narcissistic, friggin' criminals, and yet I'm so powerful. There are world leaders that are afraid of me. I'm not going to put that in the movie, but somebody out there must find me lovable, and I will be lovable as long as you come correct. Just don't be a douche. And I'm not saying all my exes are, or all the potentials that could have been boyfriends that would have ended up being my exes. Not all of them were bad. I'm talking about my ex-husbands primarily, and the men that I dated before I even got married, like in my teens. And, my ex-husbands and that. So I'm going to put in how assholey the in-laws were and some of the shit that I've had to put up with because of my ex-husband's family. Oh, so I put all that in there as well. People are going to be like, that didn't really happen to you. Yes, yes, it did. And I have police reports. I've got police reports. So, yeah, a man really did get on a plane from Germany and come to my house in New Zealand to leave chocolate and pornography at my door because I was teaching him how to cook online. And I had to get a restraining order. And then he came back to the house where my husband was working and was watching me outside the bedroom window. And I had to get the police. Oh, Lord. I just, yeah, because he, shock of my life, knock, knock, knock at the door, went to open the door. He said, hello, Debbie. I'm like, all I was trying to do was teaching him how to bake, like New Zealand biscuits and all that, cookie recipes. And he misread the signals. Oh, just, just wait. I'm gonna put it in the movie. Some James Bond shit went down in my years with guys. So yeah. So I'm not laughing at domestic violence. I'm laughing at myself. I I know what I want now, and I want a gentleman. I want like a proper gentleman. Someone who opens the car door for me, takes my hand, lets me like link arms with him. I love nothing more than to hold hands when I'm walking, or for me to link my arm in his while we're walking, with my hand around his waist, sort of like in his jean pocket of his, back, and because I'm a very tactile person. But I want a gentleman. I like very masculine men. I like men who are possessive but not controlling. Like, because I'm very feminine now, and I never, and all prior relationships I had, I was never feminine. So I need a very masculine man to offset my feminine side. And my feminine side touches my makeup with my compact mirror. And, I put napkins on my lap, and, I just, but I like to know that I belong to my man. And women out there will be like, yeah, you don't belong there. But I like to know that I am my man's woman. You're my woman. Because he's my man. And I love the idea of him buying me an outfit and saying, put this on. When I get home, I'm taking you out. I love the idea of him dressing me. I love the idea of him stopping me at the door and saying, I don't want you wearing that. Because I'm the sort of woman where if we're married, especially, and I'm taking his last name, or I'm out in public with him, I'm representing all the good things about him and the taste that he has in the woman on his arm. And if I disrespect him by dressing slutty, or I embarrass him by dressing slutty or getting too drunk and showing my knickers and all that sort of thing, I'm disrespecting my man. I'm disrespecting his family name. Um, I will be greeting him at the door with my apron on because I've been cooking for him. You know, because I'm mostly 99.9% going to be working from home anyway. So if he works out and then he's coming home, he will have dinner waiting for him. If he's one of these men that likes to put his feet up first before he has dinner, then I am the woman that will bring him like a cold drink, take his shoes off him, you know, like rub his feet, that sort of thing while dinner's cooking. Unless I'm working, um, having to record something or having to do something. But when I'm able to, I will be cooking all the meals. You know, I will probably have to get a housekeeper because I am going to be busy recording voices and having writing sessions and stuff like that. But I will be getting up every morning to have breakfast with my man. You know, if he's the sort of man that had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning because he's got to start work at 5, I'll get up with 3 and get his breakfast ready. I'm the woman who makes his lunches. He'll go to work with packed lunches. I'm the sort of woman that if he works nights, if he works a night shift, I will pack him his lunch and then I will cook him a meal that he can heat up at work so that he's not living on takeaways and that sort of thing. And Chris's workmates and that used to all, and even Paul, my first husband, all their workmates used to be like, oh my God, you're so lucky because, like, you know, they'd go to work with their lunch when they were working nights and stuff. And then they'd be heating up like roast dinners and stews and casseroles and chicken and pasta and all that sort of thing. And while everyone else was just living on Dominoes every night and getting sick of it, my men were going to work well fed. I'm that kind of woman. I love wearing aprons. I'm the woman who, you know, apron barefoot, kid on the hip, cooking in the kitchen, that sort of thing. I'm very traditional like that, but I like very masculine men, and unfortunately, none of the men I was with were masculine. They were bullies, and there's a difference. They weren't manly in a masculine sense. They were manly in a bully sense. They were bullies. But I like masculine gentlemen. You know, the kind of guy that can chop wood, put up a shelf, teach me how to do a thing, but also open car doors for me and pick out a outfit from my wardrobe when we're going out for a meal because he wants to make sure that my knickers aren't showing because my cleavage isn't too exposed. I want to be the sort of woman that he's proud to have on his arm, and I would be on his arm. So, you know, give me his coat when I'm cold. Hold the brolly in the rain, like that sort of thing. I like that kind of man, but would also rip someone apart if he ever, if they looked at me the wrong way. I don't mean physically rip them apart, but I mean, you know, it's said that when it comes to pheromones, with a masculine man who is assertive when it comes to his dominance over his woman, are the men feel it through his pheromones. They can feel it on the woman that she belongs to a man that he knows he shouldn't touch. For example, I'm just trying to think. Okay, this is just an example, and I know they were gay, and like I know all that, but just think of somebody like the Krays, one of the Krays, right? All the men in the London area, all the men who knew the Krays would know you don't touch his woman, you don't go near his woman, because his dominance is asserted through the pheromones. It's in everything about him as a man that all the other men would know you don't touch his woman, even though I know one was gay and the other one's wife committed suicide and that. But you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. It's also said that the more a woman feels safe with a man, the more feminine she becomes. And I want to be with a man who makes me all the feminine. Where I get my hair done every month, and go and get my manicure, because I'll have my own beauty salon, but where I can go and get my hair done and get my nails, like my manicures, and the way I drink out of teacups and that now, yeah, I am very feminine now. I just want to be able to have the money to look feminine. Once this lawsuit is over and done with, and I get this money and I can get my teeth sorted, and then finally get my glasses back, and get my glasses and that, I'll be able to dress exactly how I want to dress, and people will be shocked because I'm going to be very, very feminine. I've discussed it at length with my big sister, who's going to be my stylist. She's going to be responsible for everything that I wear on the red carpet, and for publicity and marketing and all of that. But even just around town, and or what I'm going to call my town, at the foundation, I haven't given it a name yet. It was a Boracom, but I'm tearing all of that down now. I'm even thinking I'm definitely going to be a woman who wears hats in the spring and summer, to protect my neck from the sunburn and all that. And I'm even thinking on occasion, I might even be the sort of woman who wears gloves. So that's how feminine I'm becoming. Because I feel safe now, you see. I'm feeling safer. My cortisol levels are coming down because I'm not around the men who made me feel unsafe anymore. I'm not having to, the erratic behaviour and the not having to walk on eggshells and all that. It's all coming right down. So now I'm turning more and more feminine. And so, yeah, there'll be times where I'll wear army pants and dress a bit punk and a bit rock and a bit this and a bit that. But for the most part, even then, nonetheless, I'm going to be very feminine. My sister and I have spent a lot of years swapping photos back and forth, building up what I'm going to look like when I get out of here. And I think people are going to be shocked. But I'm going to love it. And whoever I end up with is going to love it too. I hope he's a man who wears suits and looks good in a tuxedo. I love a man that wears suits. I always have done. I mean, not all the time, but yeah, a nice suit. That's one of the things that Thomas and I were going to work on. He was going to help me work on a men's clothing range, and because Gabriel wants to wear suits and that as well, so I wanted to come up with a men's clothing range that involved like nice tailored suits and stuff for my fashion house, for my boutique, because we'll sell men's clothes as well as women's clothes. And yeah, I personally like a pinstripe suit. You know, like a nice dark blue pinstripe suit on a man is just gorgeous. And that sort of Cillian Murphy sort of, you know, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's hot. It's gorgeous on a man. So anyway, that's my movie. And it's all going to be based on real events. All different relationships I've had in the past, told through one fictitious couple. But mostly about my ex, the one who, Chris, the baby daddy. But there won't be kids in this movie. So there we go. So I'm going to go. I'll speak to you later. Ka kite anō. Mwah.